Hey community, today I wanted to share with you 4 tips for transporting your kayak to the water. So you can transport your kayak by hand if you're going a short distance, perhaps from your house to a nearby water source. You can transport a kayak on the top of your vehicle using just simple crossbars and ratcheting straps, or you can also transport it using a specific rack system. So tip number 1 for transporting a kayak by hand, be sure to utilize the help of another person if possible and lift the boat using the handles in the front and the back. But if you are by yourself, you can carry the kayak on your shoulder by turning it on its side and bracing it against something, bending your knees and getting your shoulder up underneath the kayak and lifting from your knees to a standing position. Tip number 2, for transporting a kayak on your vehicle, be sure to load the kayak, usually from the back of your vehicle is going to be the easiest, whether you're loading it onto crossbars, or if your vehicle doesn't have crossbars, you can actually load it onto specific padding devices they make to protect your vehicle from getting scratched by your kayak, etc. But either way, you're going to want to start by getting your kayak, the front of it, mounted onto the rear of your vehicle. So tip number 3 for loading a kayak onto a vehicle with crossbars, once you get it up onto the crossbars, you want to make sure it's centered, and then you want to utilize cam ratcheting straps, 2 of them ideally, one in the front and one in the back, attaching the kayak to the crossbars. Be sure to tighten it and hold the kayak in place, but don't over tighten the cam straps, as it can possibly damage fiberglass or plastic as well. And for an added safety measure, you should always try and use bow and stern lines, which makes for redundancy and just added safety, especially when traveling a long distance or down the freeway, for example. And finally, when loading a kayak onto a vehicle by yourself, if you don't have the help of another person, you can either integrate a lift system, utilize a rolling wheel system, or actually simply, throw a tarp or a blanket over the rear of your car so that when you're lifting the kayak up onto the roof, you have some traction, which will then help you propel the boat forward into place onto either your rack or crossbars or padding or whichever system you're using. So to quickly recap, to transport a kayak by hand, try and utilize the help of another person and lifting using the front and the rear handles. But if you are by yourself, you can carry it over your shoulder. This is typically done by turning the kayak on its side up against an object so that it sits sideways, kneeling and getting your shoulder up under the kayak, and then bending slowly at the knees to a standing position. For transporting a kayak on a vehicle, be sure to load the kayak from the rear onto crossbars, or if your vehicle lacks crossbars, specific padded foam made for this purpose. Be sure to use cam ratcheting straps, so 2 ideally, to tighten and hold the kayak into place, but remember not to over tighten these ratcheting straps, as that can actually injure your kayak in the long term. And finally, when loading a kayak onto the vehicle by yourself, you can utilize either a lift system, a rolling wheel system, or actually simply by throwing a blanket or a tarp onto the rear of your vehicle and actually utilizing that as traction as you're loading the front of your kayak onto the rear of your vehicle. You should then be able to easily slide the boat forward into position. So those are the tips I have for transporting a kayak to the water, and I hope you found them useful. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, it's Amanda. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to hiking and backpacking, I just wanted to recommend that you check out our Adventure Academy Summit, where you'll find everything you need to know to learn how to become a safe and confident hiker. In Summit, we have tons of video courses, ebooks, and downloadable cheat sheets. We also do weekly live webinars where you can get any questions that you might have on a variety of subjects answered in real time. Summit also comes with a really convenient mobile app. which includes sort of a mini Facebook for all of its members built into the platform. So you can connect with other adventure junkies in your area at your convenience. It's really cool. If you want to give it a chance, check it out and go to the adventurejunkies.com/academy or click the link in the description below. I look forward to seeing you in Summit.